This is TWiT.
Sonos coming forward with yet another complaint. Sonos said, look, we tried to make this really cool system called concurrency. And concurrency was this idea that multiple systems could be used to communicate with different smart assistants. So you could say, Alexa, do this. You could say, Siri, do this. You could say, hey G, do this. And the device itself would be able to be addressed as any of those three assistants and potentially more. And that's what concurrency was supposed to be. Basically, the ability to talk to your smart home assistant of choice, or if you have multiple smart home assistants or smart assistants, then you could talk to them. And Sonos is saying, we tried to do this, but Google blocked us from being able to do so. Now, what's fascinating about this is Sonos came after Apple in the past for offering Siri connectivity or Siri on device through this new system that they have. And I think went as far as to testify against them. And this is Sonos saying, we wanted to do the exact thing that we got upset about Apple over ourselves, and we were blocked by Google now for doing it. So you know how I feel about the way that Sonos has treated its customers in the past. And as much as I try not to, it does color my my sort of perception of the company. And that's doubled by its continual behavior of arguably misleading consumers in some of the arguments that it makes. And so I think that it'd be good to hear you as a Sonos customer and as someone who has had good enough experience with Sonos that has not colored your sort of view on this. Tell me kind of what you feel about this, because this to me, and maybe, you know, this is completely accurate. It feels like whining on Sonos's part for something that arguably another big company was trying to make possible that they were against in that situation. So what is your overall take on Sonos and concurrency? Because I think, I know I start to ask you and then I keep going. One last thing is that I think the idea of the idea of concurrency is a good one. I like that idea. I would like to address the different smart assistants. And so in that way, I am with Sonos that companies should not block that functionality. But early on, they seem to be kind of complaining about Apple wanting to do the same thing. And at that point, because it wasn't them doing it, then they had a problem with it. So yeah, take it away. I'll stop.
It is just kind of odd that they're like, please fix this. And Google has a response that they're like, we're working on it. Like matter is underway. The interoperability of smart assistants is a thing that is a priority, but they say we want to ensure people have a positive experience using our products and that we protect their privacy. And just kind of fixing it for Sonos right now, while they're already going to fix it on the industry-wide level, is kind of like, that's where it does seem like Google, or like Sonos, why are you still fretting about this now? But I think part of it is that they've had this ready since 2017, or some version of this since 2017. And just since then, like, I don't even use my Sonos at all for the smart home stuff because I know that it doesn't work with all of the ones that I want to. And I basically have to pick one out of the three that I have in my home. And so it is a major bummer as a consumer. It's sort of like you kind of just have to wait for it, Sonos. So I'm not sure. But I think, like any company, to a certain degree, they have like a fiduciary duty to their stakeholders to pursue stuff like this because it is impacting their business negatively. So it's just weird that, especially because Amazon's like, yeah, we're good. Don't worry about it. It's like Google just ends up looking like a bad guy, while also Sonos is like just like kind of complaining and pounding against the door. So it's like, let me in. And it's like, we're in the Matter meeting right now. Like, give us a minute. So yeah, I'm not sure. It is just kind of like big companies, big tech companies fighting. So it's like slightly smaller tech against big tech. So it's like, I don't feel that bad for them also.
I think you and I are on the same page in terms of the fact that we're just kind of waiting. It's been promised to be coming. It's something they're working on, and we're going to see this really cool sort of crossover between applications. I don't know about you, but like I really want to see early days of Matter. And give it a try and see, what it's like to be able to use these devices, because it's all in testing. And there's a part of me that wishes that I was on some
joined it
steering board. Yeah. So that I could join and see how this is all working in its early days. Simply because I think this does have the potential to be a very cool and very powerful technology. And I also think that to some extent, the grousing and complaining is not indicative of what the consumers are after. I think that this is one of those features where it happens and you go, oh, that is quite nice that I can talk to any of my assistants. But I don't think the folks are going into it with like, we're going to burn this place to the ground unless we get this multi voice assistant connectivity. So it does feel a little bit on the product manufacturer side and less on the consumer side.
It's like, because most people do tend to pick one assistant, it's like I just put Google Assistant on mine and then I have Echoes otherwise. And it isn't that big of a deal. But I think also once we get it all together, like you said, it's going to be awesome. And it will be like, oh, I can use Siri on the Sonos in the one room that I don't have any other Siri speakers, and also the Google Assistant if I just feel like asking Google something. So it's promising, and Sonos is going to probably be one of the biggest companies to benefit from it because they just have really good audio quality also. So it's kind of going to be like the best of all four worlds for them. So makes sense why they want it to happen.
Mm-hmm.